Overcomers TV, streaming now. Download our app on your smart TV, Roku, Apple TV, and more.
Hello, I'm Michelle Burton along with Dr. Lisa Burkhart-Worley and Renee Rollins, and welcome to Pop Talk, the show where you never know what topics might pop up. We are here at the National Religious Broadcasters Convention, taping programs and having fun. How many of you like to go to the movies? I know I do. In the first half of the show, we are going to meet one of the most successful executives in the Christian movie industry. And I promise you, you'll know most of the movies that his company has produced. Lisa has the introduction.
Thank you so much, Michelle. I am so excited about this guest. We've been chatting before we started the interview, and he is such an interesting guy. Have you heard of the movies God's Not Dead, The Case for Christ, and a movie that just came out that I love because I'm a sports person? It's called Average Joe. I know you've seen it. Our guest today made all those movies happen, and he's going to talk about his latest movie, which we're going to share about right here on Pop Talk. His name is Michael Scott. He is the CEO of PureFlix.com and Pinnacle Peak Pictures. Michael has produced more than 40 movies and has helped his company become one of the largest faith and family streaming services. Michael founded Pinnacle Peak Pictures, say that 10 times really fast, in 2005, and then he launched PureFlix.com in 2015. That's a company that provides streaming, faith, and family entertainment. Now, PureFlix was eventually a part of Sony in 2020 is when that happened, but Michael is still their CEO. Now, when it comes to faith, Michael knows what he's talking about because he has degrees in both theology and applied science. So how and when did you first become involved in movies? There has to be a story.
Oh gosh, it goes way back to my childhood. I loved movies. When I was a kid, I remember I was probably 8 or 10 years old, and I wanted a camcorder. And I finally got one, saved up all my money, took a loan from somebody. And I got it, and I started making little movies, and that led into photography and everything. But after I finished college, I did a lot of commercials. Did some Taco Bell stuff, did some Apple stuff, car commercials, all these things. But I always wanted to marry my film background with my faith. And that's when I launched PureFlix in 2005 to really go after and basically distributed them, and that led one thing after another from there.
I'm going to do later on, and one time I did a version of the War of the Worlds, and I used the dishwasher for a sound effect.
I love it. I love it. I want to see that one. We're going to debut that here tonight.
No.
So right. To be continued.
That's awesome. You really know how to pick movies, obviously, and the projects. And I just wanted to ask you, how do you choose that as far as just when you hear about an idea, or is it a screenplay? I want to hear.
You know, there's not one way that stories come to you. Sometimes, the people that work with me will come up with ideas. Other times we're pitched ideas that are like, wow, that's really good. Sometimes it's a finished script. We also help people with their finished movies to distribute them worldwide. So it all depends on what it is. But after doing like 60 or 70 movies, you start to kind of figure out, okay, these are the types that work and everything like that, and what people are gravitating towards. And I think people ultimately want to see their faith lived out on screen. They want to see, whether it's biblical, whatever it is. I think if you can really show people that, they gravitate towards it.
They connect, don't they? When they see something that they can connect to in faith, it's uplifting. When a person finds a great Christian movie, they'll watch it again and again.
And they might come to faith through it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I always say this, it's interesting. 30 to 40% of the people that go to a theater and watch a great movie are either unchurched or non-believers.
It's true.
And so what an incredible way to share a powerful, inspirational gospel message with them that hopefully, I hope, opens the door for them.
Glory to God.
Yes, I love that. I love that. So you've produced so many movies, as we've heard already, God's Not Dead, but also Redeeming Love. Do you have a favorite that stands out in your mind? And if so, what is it?
Putting you on the spot, Michael.
I've got two now. I love Taste for Christ.
Oh, I love that too. Yes,
I love that
great
movie.
one.
Story about him searching himself out. Really, it's
Right.
He says he's man meant for Messiah. He's
Yep.
the one they say fire.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think it's an incredible dramatic film, but it really informs you about your faith. And it's
Yes.
really, really have substance in it. And I think that's what really improves it.
Right.
So I love that movie. I think it's a great movie. It's dramatic. You learn a lot. It's an incredible story. The characters come to life. But I gotta be honest, one of my new favorites now is the movie we're releasing on March 14th, The Last Supper.
Yes, that's
It's a great film. And when it first came to me, I was like, I don't know, Last Supper is kind of, everybody knows the story.
Right.
But then when I read it, I was like, oh wow. Because I learned things in there that I never knew about the story. So I think certain things meant these characters like Judas, who followed Jesus for years.
Yes.
Watching the miracles being performed, everything betrayed Jesus. What happened? And how did Peter, who's right there, the faith that's standing there,
Yes.
you know, one
Deny.
day he's for him, and then 1 hour later he's like, hey, I gotta deny you. Like, how did that happen? And I think this movie really brings that to life. And it's like a cinematic experience. It puts you right there 2,000 years ago.
Yeah, I think Peter was experiencing a lot of fear is what I think happened, you know, and that's what happens to us a lot of times in our
Yes.
faith. We have this great opportunity, but we're afraid to share the gospel because we're afraid of rejection and we don't want to get arrested like Peter was worried about. So now you're going to be working with Chris Tomlin on this movie. He's the executive producer. And Chris Tomlin, he's in my kitchen every morning, and the reason
Not literally.
I sing.
Doing it, does he make a good latte or was it?
I sing to his song "Holy Forever" in the morning. I worship the Lord through the YouTube video, and I just love his music. And you know, he has 30 top 10 hits. You know this.
Wow.
He reached 1 billion on the digital radio streams. So you know, he's an amazing singer and powerhouse, and probably one of the most recognized. What's it like to work with him?
Chris is Chris. Everybody knows his music, incredible music, but him as a person too, he's just genuine. And what you know, a lot of people know the artist, but when you meet him personally, he lives out what he says and what he's talking about in his music and everything. And that's why I think his music is so anointed by God, you know, and people feel that connection with it. And when, you know, talking to Chris, we said, you got to see this. We want to get you involved. And he'd never done anything like this before. And he watched it and he's like, oh my gosh, I gotta do this. And then he said, we have this song, I hear it. And I listened to it and I'm like, did you sneak the script or something? Because the song words are like exactly what the movie is, you know, in the thing. And so it was just a God thing bringing this together, getting Chris on board, him really working with the music and stuff. And I think it's just been an incredible partnership with his music. In fact, there's a new song coming called No Greater Love that's in the movie, and it's going to be released right before the movie on March 14th from Chris Tomlin. Hopefully that'll be in the morning kitchen as well, you know. And I think people will love it. And I think if you know Chris's music, this movie reflects his heart. You get to hear a song in it. I think people will be really moved by it.
I can't wait to hear it.
That is exciting. I know you all probably want to see the trailer for this movie, and we got it. Take a look right now at Michael Scott's new movie and Chris Tomlin called The Last Supper.
Now we.
That was amazing. So I know that you already mentioned to the audience that it's coming out, but can you tell us again? That was amazing. So I know you've already mentioned when it's coming out in theaters, but tell our audience again when The Last Supper is going to be seen in theaters.
March 14th, nationwide, you can go see it in the theaters. You know, get your tickets now. They're going fast. It starts everywhere. Bring a group. Get your church to buy out a theater or get group tickets. But here's an interesting thing. A lot of people sometimes, it's hard to bring someone to church, right? They're maybe nervous. They don't want to infringe or do this or that. It is really easy to say, hey, you want to go to a movie? Let's go check out this thing. I heard about it. It's supposed to be really cool. Bring a friend to the movie. I promise you they'll be touched. You'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy the quality of it, the characters of it, the story of it, and ultimately, I think it's going to draw you closer to God. March 14th.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Mike, for joining us on
Yeah.
Pop Talk. You can reach Michael Scott at his website, pinnaclepeakpictures.com, just like it sounds. Pinnaclepeakpictures.com.
And if they want, they can go check out the movie, The Last Supper. The Last Supper.movie. Go check it out. You can watch trailers, get tickets there, learn about the movie. You want to see something that's biblically accurate, March 14th, go.
Amen.
Thank
Don't
you
miss
so much.
it.
Are you ready for a heavenly experience? Join Horizon Media Studios and Lindell TV at the NRB 2025 convention, February 24th through the 27th at the Gaylord Texan in Grapevine, Texas. Connect with ministry leaders, explore groundbreaking ideas, and inspiring discussions. Register today with the NRB 2025 Overcomers TV promo code. Meet us at booth 911 and we'll see you in February at NRB 2025.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free.
Overcomers TV, streaming now. Download our app on your smart TV, Roku, Apple TV, and more.
In 1953, Jack Drake set up a borrowed tent on donated land just east of the Navajo Nation. There, Four Corners Home for Children was born. Since then, over 2,000 children have passed through our doors, and there's always room for more. Our House of Hope offers shelter to children in crisis. The House of Faith is a long-term home where children can grow and thrive. Our House of Grace provides life skills training to older teenagers as they work toward independence. The Four Corners Academy for Excellence provides educational opportunities in an environment conducive to learning. Navajo Nation Outreach provides for the needs of the Navajo people. Addiction recovery, food distribution, providing Bibles in the Navajo language. Four Corners Home for Children, serving in Navajo land since 1953, a place for children to call home.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm excited to announce my new product, My Coffee. It's the best tasting coffee ever. It starts with the beans that are grown in Honduras, which has the perfect climate for growing coffee plants, producing the best beans ever. Each batch is tested to meet the very highest industry standards, and all the production's done right here in the USA. You get them ground whole bean or in single-serve coffee pods. Plus, it's certified organic and non-GMO. It's like you're getting that small batch specialty coffee delivered monthly right to your front door. So go to mystore.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 50% on your My Coffee subscription. Not only that, when you sign up today, you're going to get a Go Anywhere My Pillow absolutely free. You can cancel anytime and keep the Go Anywhere My Pillow as my gift to you. Thanks for supporting my new platform for USA entrepreneurs, mystore.com.
Overcomers TV, streaming now. Download our app on your smart TV, Roku, Apple TV, and more.
Hey, this is Annette Reish, president of Four Corners Home for Children. We are excited this month to tell you about our Navajo Nation outreach program. This program is growing by leaps and bounds. I could talk about it all day long, but I want you to hear about it from some of the folks directly involved.
Navajo Nation outreach is a very good thing as far as bringing all the Navajo ministers together and to get on one page to go forward with the word, teaching and preaching it, and most of all living it. Churches on the reservation, it's been estimated about 500 churches somewhere in that neighborhood.
For Navajo Nation outreach, we go out into the community, like we've gone out to Ojo, Amarillo, where they have, I believe, 150 homes out there, and we talk to people out there sharing literature with them of the Navajo neighbors, the Book of John, and we distribute some food to them that was donated to us, some clothing that was donated from other churches out of state. And
Four Corners Home for Children have been receiving a lot of donation of clothing, jackets, clothing for kids all the way to adults. They have been receiving sleeping bags, caps, jackets, and we take some of these to the homes that we visit, and they can come out and pick whatever they need.
so we do that. We invite them to come to church, and we ask them if they've are attending any church in the community, and if they're not, we invite them to come to our church. And
On Sunday mornings, we have Navajo Bible reading. My focus is that the Navajos who come to church would learn to read Navajo. We can talk about the scriptures in Navajo.
We did a couple of flea market outreaches, like in Shiprock and Kirtland. It was good. We passed out audiobooks, Bibles, songbooks. We prayed with people. We just talked to people there too, like see what they're doing and if they're not drinking or if they need help. We did that in Shiprock and in Kirtland.
And the nomination, all the generations, especially future generations, we need help in those areas where, those remote areas where they haven't heard recovery, celebrate recovery. I've been coming here since last January 2023, and this has been my second year. I've been coming from here, from Shiprock, on my bicycle.
The Celebrate Recovery, I was initially introduced to it probably a good 10 years ago, and there are 5 meetings in the area, 5 different nights, Monday through Friday, at different fellowship places, different churches, and it's a 12-step program. It's kind of follows along with the Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous steps, but it's Christian-based, so we're using the Bible to help us with each step along the way on the road to recovery from not just drugs and alcohol, but any addiction.
Ever since that I became part of the classes and the fellowship, the church, everything, and it's just like we want to get out there and open more doors to different opportunities, how to get to people, to reach out to them more, to hear the word, and that's really important for us because people need to get saved. They need to know the word, and it's really, for me, I enjoy doing it. I enjoy going out there and being helpful.
I just appreciate my pastor Chuck going out to the reservation, because if you go deep into the reservation, it's like third world country, because to this day, 2024, there's people still with no electricity, no running water, and they're like forgotten. And I just appreciate Pastor Chuck going out and ministering and helping any way he can, and we do need it here, and I just appreciate that.
Four Corners Children's Home has been a blessing for me and my children. So they blessed my kids with brand new bikes this year for Christmas, and not only that, it's just the love. It's just it's family. It's just caring for one another.
This outreach, Navajo Nation outreach, is very, very widely needed. It's a necessity. To me, it's wonderful.
Overcomers TV, streaming now. Download our app on your smart TV, Roku, Apple TV, and more.
Another aspect of writing is producing screenplays for movies. And our next guest is not only a talented screenwriter, but she's also helping others who aspire to write a story for the big screen. Her name is Jacqueline Witt. Jacqueline is an award-winning screenwriter, the education coordinator and co-founder with her husband Jeffrey of the Faith and Family Filmmakers Association. She's also the co-host of the Faith and Family Filmmakers podcast. She and Jeffrey mentor emerging screenwriters to successfully write screenplays, win awards, and pitch to producers. Some of their mentees have gone on to win awards and secure funding and grants for the... Oh, ready? Another aspect of writing is producing screenplays for movies. And our next guest is not only a talented screenwriter, but she's also helping others who aspire to write a story for the big screen. Her name is Jacqueline Witt. Jacqueline is an award-winning screenwriter, the education coordinator and co-founder with her husband Jeffrey of the Faith and Family Filmmakers Association. She and Jeffrey mentor emerging screenwriters to successfully write screenplays, win awards, and pitch to producers. And some of their mentees have gone on to win awards and secure funding and grants for their project. Jacqueline is also the author of the internationally best-selling book, In the Beginning, Middle, and End, a screenwriter's observations of the life, character, and God. Jacqueline, that's a lot. Welcome to Pop Talk. I'm just excited. We're so glad to have you here with us at NRB. Wow. We just want to know about all of your great work and what a difference it's making in the kingdom. We just want to brag on you in this show and just give all glory to God. How did you first start getting into screenwriting? We want to know about that.
Actually, writing was something that I did for myself. It was therapeutic. You know how sometimes there's situations in life when you need to get closure, but you can't because maybe the person's gone away, or maybe it's just an unhealthy situation. And so that's where I would write. I would create the script with the scenario, and I'd have the characters go through whatever they needed to go through to bring about the closure. And so I didn't even write, like for years, I didn't write full stories. I would write segments because that's all I needed to get out of it. And then when I was in my early 20s, I had an idea, and that's when I wrote my first screenplay, all the way, like a full feature screenplay. And then since then, I just continued writing. But again, for at least a decade, it was still about just the closure that I needed. It was therapeutic for me.
Well, I love it that you're a screenwriter, and I'm a writer, okay? I've been writing all my life, but I've never done screenplays. But this has kind of come up in my life lately, this late age. and so I took your screenwriting boot camp, and I learned so much in that boot camp, and I recommend it for anyone who's listening right now. So it is so encouraging. You really are an encourager. You said to me, we had a Zoom call, and you said, Lisa, you're a writer. You can do screenplays. You can do it. Because I'm not a fiction writer. I'm a nonfiction writer. So why do you enjoy helping others like you do? Why do you have a heart for the struggling screenwriter, the person who wants to do this?
You know, I think that creatives are visionaries, right? And I also have a gift of teaching, and I think that God has allowed me this opportunity where I can not only understand what someone's vision is, I can teach them how to draw that out and put it on the page. Like visionaries, we see things before they even exist, right? That's kind of our job, and then we make it happen. And so, yeah, it's one of the gifts that God has given me, so I need to use it, right?
Definitely. You're doing it.
Yeah.
You are so talented. So on top of all this screenwriting, you also co-host a podcast with your husband, Jeffrey, called Faith and Family Filmmakers Podcast. So what all do you talk about in that podcast, and how does this benefit people who desire to write a screenplay?
Yeah, our whole business, everything we do with the podcast and all of that is about equipping the faith-based community that is working in film. So on our podcast, we interview people who are working either as a writer, director, producer, actor. They could hold the boom. It doesn't matter if they're involved in the film industry and they have something that they can share about God moving in their situation, or even sharing advice of how they got to where they are, and understanding how do you get successful. Like you want to learn from the best, right? So that's who we interview, and our audience are the people who want to learn from them.
I love that.
If somebody's watching right now, Jacqueline, I was just sitting here thinking, if they have a movie idea, I mean, what are some of the basic things that you are wanting to see from them, and just putting the points together? Tell us about that. How do you put a screenplay together? In 30 seconds or less.
Right.
Get your pen and paper out, everyone. Get your
Okay, most important thing to know is that film is visual. So you have to understand, is your story a visual story? If not, you have to figure out how to make it visual, or write a book. Not all stories are told on film.
Yeah, I would like to do a screenplay. My life is kind of interesting, and I have a very, just an interesting story, I think. And I've thought about writing a screenplay about my life, and my husband is already saying, who's going to play me? He's like suggesting actors on who would play him. I said, I haven't even
That's the fun part.
I haven't even started this thing. So I have combed your website. I've become a fan, and I look to see what all you offer and where I can jump in, because this is something that's really playing on my mind. And so you do so many things. You have classes, and you do. I just went to your networking group. That was so much fun. We went into breakout rooms. We met people we'd never met before, and got to find out about them. Some of them were actresses, some were screenwriters, some were actors, or they are producers. And so yeah, it was just, I loved it. I want to do it again. But you've also written some books, and this one's called In the Beginning, Middle, and End. And so could you talk about the books that you've written and what you're trying to get across to people?
Absolutely. That book was definitely an act of obedience. I never thought I'd write a book. I love screenplays, but I learned a lot. Anytime that you pursue to become an expert at something, you learn a lot along the way. And what I discovered is that as an author, I am basically the God of the universe that I'm creating. And so I learned a lot of how God creates stories in our lives. And so what I did was I wrote this book of all of the things that I discovered that as an author, I can relate to God, or I can understand some of the things that he does, some of his writing techniques in our lives. So the book really does get into both sides, where I do talk about screenwriting techniques, but I also flip it to say, okay, now God is also doing this in your life.
So here's the thing I want to say real quick is, there's a verse that I love. It's 1 Thessalonians 5:24. It says, the one who calls you is faithful, and he will do it. So if you're called to screenwriting, you're called to write a book like what you wrote, you just have to sit in his presence, and he's going to download the material. I've had that happen so many times, especially with our devotionals and devotions that we write for our website. And so I know that for myself, if I'm supposed to write a screenplay, he's going to show me how to do it.
Absolutely, you can do it.
Yes, I love that. And later this year, you're hosting a writer's retreat in Mexico. I want to go, where you live. And can you tell everyone about that retreat?
Yeah, so my husband and I left Canada to move to Mexico so that we could And we decided we wanted to invite people to our little town because we don't live near the tourism areas. We are just in this tiny little town, but it's beautiful in the jungle of Mexico. And so we thought, okay, I've got this method, I've kind of got my science, so I can help people write their first draft while they come and have an adventure with us in small town, real life Mexico. Not the tourism areas where, you know, you're gonna have like probably a lot of mix of North American culture in there, but like the heart of Mexico. And it's totally safe where we live. We always feel safe.
That's good.
That sounds like a fun retreat.
Yes, I know.
Go down there. I think that could be a movie too. The
Oh,
Writers
yes.
Retreat in Mexico. I think we should do a screenplay about that. I actually just saw a movie kind of like that where they had a writing retreat and there was a love story in it and all that kind of stuff too. Anyway, we'll get into that later, but we're just so happy that you're on Pop Talk, Jack. Thank you so much for being here. And
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to be combing all your materials to see what I can get out of your book and see if they can, what it can do to help me. I know it will. The book again is called In the Beginning, Middle, and End, a screenwriter's observations of life, character, and God. And so if you think you might want to be a screenwriter or you just want to get involved in this community, you can go to the Faith and Family Filmmakers Association website. That's FAFF association.com. I'm going to say it again. F as in Frank, FAFF association.com.
And we
Overcomers TV, streaming.
us here at Pearls of Promise Ministries. You can email us at info@pearlsofpromiseministries.com. Like us on Facebook at Pearls of Promise Ministries, on X at Pop Talk Media, or on Instagram at Pop_Ministries. And all of our past shows and award-winning documentaries are on our YouTube channel at Pearls of Promise Ministries.
So that is Pop Talk for today. We're just ordinary girls
who God turned into pearls. Have a wonderful week.
Download our app on your smart TV.